Okay, welcome back to Dark Souls Part 3 SL1 playthrough, or for those of you who don't know what SL means, Soul Level 1. Just give me a second here, grabbing water, so unprofessional I am, but whatever, we're moving on. So here we're kicking off Lautrec to get some items, which I don't think I'll ever use, but that's the easy way to kill him if you don't want to fight him yourself. But I would recommend killing him, because if you don't kill him before you kill Quelaag, he will murder the Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine, and you won't have a Firekeeper there unless you kill him in Anor Londo. So basically what you do to get his items to respawn is you just save and quit. There you go. Ring of Favor and Protection boosts equip load, stamina, and vitality or health by 20%. So cut here to Andre of the Blacksmith. We are buying the Crest of Artorias. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Crest of Artorias, there it is. 20,000 souls, quite a big purchase, but it'll unlock the forest where we can get tons of souls. So here, I was recording earlier, had to make a cut here because for some reason, I would have a still shot right at that boss room, but the boss music was sped up to double the amount. I don't know why, but there was nothing interesting, just killing all those hollows. So we're fighting the gargoyles here. I would recommend applying that gold pine resin we picked up in the last episode because it'll do some greater damage. And Solaire is right outside that boss room if you are human and want to summon him. Although since this is a no summon challenge unless I literally can't beat a boss, we are not summoning anyone. So yeah, you can get the gargoyle tail axe if you cut off his tail. Your goal is to beat this one before the other one has a chance to come in. Otherwise you can have some issues and makes it difficult. But as you see there, I got lucky and managed to kill him. This one has quite significantly lower defense than the other one. Oh, I guess it's the same, just that it has half health. Because 173 I did both times. Oh well, they should be no issue. If you have Solaire, you'll be easily fine, because they'll be distracted on him and you can just lay waste into him. So, going up here, up the ladder, we are going to get our first ring, our first bell. Pretty exciting. We're already halfway done the start game. No, just kidding. That's like an eighth, if that, of the whole game. But we have a lot of preparation before we go before we go ring the second bell. Sorry, my bad. So I don't know why I kept this cutscene in when I recorded this. I can't remember why. I think it's because I never saw it before, so I just wanted to see what it was, and for some reason I decided not to cut it out. Anyways, here's Oswald. I believe this one is Oswald. And we get the well, what is it gesture, the most common PvP gesture, as well as we're going to buy an indictment, just in case somehow we're invaded, and a whole bunch of homeward bones, because that just saves me having to run back from bonfire to bonfire, because who does that anymore? Like, really? Who needs it? Sorry, I had to get some water. Last episode I recorded post-commentary just killed my throat. Didn't have any water nearby and I just died. So here we are going back. For some reason I don't use a homeward bone, but we are going with those newfound souls we got from the gargoyles. We are going to upgrade our reinforced club to +5, and eventually at the end of the episode I will be turning that into fire. So I'll show you a route through the catacombs that I took, how to upgrade it to fire the easiest way. But we are going to sped up here, going back to Andre, because if any of you didn't know, basically I'm speeding up or cutting out all the unimportant parts and slowing down when I actually pick up an item that is essential or an item that could really help you guys out. I said guys again. Damn it. Someone should suggest a name to call the audience. This should be voted upon, and that's what I'll do. But we're upgrading our reinforced club to +5. I can actually learn how to count this episode, so I buy enough Titanite shards, and we have just enough if you look at that. 387 souls left. So here, if you want... Oh, wait, where am I going? Oh yeah, I remember this. So I decide I'm going to take on the Titanite demon. Yeah, well it just wasn't a fun time. Trying here, just pounding away at him. Trying to get behind him. Look at the damage I'm doing, so insignificant to him. So little damage, and then another slow-mo death, just for you all. Look at that. Just shows how bad I am at this game, how much of a bad Dark Souls player I am. But anyways, going past that, I think that's death number 2. You people can keep a track. and tell me. And then maybe if I remember at on the final episode, if I have enough reminders, I will upload all the deaths. I'm just waiting till we get to Ornstein and Smo. There's going to be at least 20 deaths there, probably. I don't know. So yeah, I cut here. Basically, went from there to the Undead Burg. If you don't know, it's at the edge of the Dragon Bridge. Not too hard. You can either go from the Undead Burg up and then run across the Dragon Bridge, or you can just go to where you fought the Taurus Demon and come around. But you need the key to the depths. I mean, the key to Lower Undead Burg, where we picked up in the last episode, just outside the castle. So I recommend you guys watch the second episode so you can see where to pick that up. And here, opening up a shortcut from the Undead Burg bonfire right to here. Very essential if you're doing a lot of depths. I'm just checking here because usually those enemies chase you and will hurt you. Now this is one of the most annoying enemies in the whole game. I like to call them demon dogs. I don't know what their official name is, but basically when you try to hit them, they will just jump back, and that's very annoying. They can also bleed you, I believe. And here we have some undead hollows. I mean, hollow undead thieves, or whatever, something like that. Not too hard. They can parry you, and they do some moderate damage, as well as they can also backstab you. So, just to watch out for the threat. There's little bandit knives, can be good if you upgrade them all the way, because they have really good critical. Lightning bandit dagger is, I think, one of the highest criticals in the game, if I'm not mistaken. It's up there with the chaos, with the +5 chaos rapier. I know that one for sure. So here we pick up the black olive gloves. I see if I can wear them, I believe. After we see, do you see that demon dog's doing all that jumping? Yeah, so I see if I'm looking at there. Basically the weight just isn't worth the 1 extra defense point, so I don't put it on. There's the boss gate to the capra demon. Trying my memory, I watched this and then I completely forgot. I believe I got parried there, so now I'm like being really scared, trying to scope him out, see what he's gonna do. So if you go up here, there is a shortcut and a merchant. The shortcut leads all the way back to Firelink Shrine, so I recommend you definitely open up that shortcut if you're having troubles with Capra Demon or whatever, because the fight is quite difficult, but I'll go more on that once we actually get in there. Gotta get some more water. And I just dropped my water. Bravo. Bravo. So right here at the end of there was the gate to open up, and this leads you to, if this looks familiar, Firelink Shrine. So now you have a quick way to go from the depths, or from Firelink to the depths later on, or Lower Undead Burg, because Lower Undead Burg connects to the depths. So just fast forwarding here. Basically we need to get to the depths. Bonfire can't activate here because I have too many guys. But basically we need to get to the depths because Laurentius sells us pyromancies in there, as well as the large ember, which allows us to get from +5 to +10. So my topic for this episode, for all the parts that are sped up and when I don't have anything to talk about, I'm going to compare Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2, because I've probably put about 200 to 300 hours in both games, at least 150 hours of each one in PvP. So this episode I'm just going to talk about my thoughts, as well as skipping back to important parts in the video. So basically, Dark Souls 1 was a pretty good game when it came out. The only thing that I really had issues with was when you were PvPing, the meta or the internet. It was getting pretty annoying, as well as sometimes you got some, there you go, nice parry on. Nice parry fail and I almost die here. But basically it was getting really annoying with sometimes the lag, because you would be connected with a guy all the way across the world from you with the worst connection ever, so he could just backstab you and kill you immediately, and it wouldn't work. Dark Souls 2 did try to fix this somewhat, but I still had tons of issues with lag. So here I'm just buffing my weapon with fire. So when you get into the Capra Demon, usually he does a jump attack. That was weird that he didn't, but you want to watch out because there's two bigger dogs here. They have more defense than the other ones, and I don't know if you can tell, but they are bigger. So the Capra Demon has 4 attacks. He has a downward slash that does moderate damage. He has a jumping attack which you can't block. He has two to three swings, like there's like there, but he can continue that. And he has one where he grabs both of his swords and does one swing right there. That one you can block with the heater shield, takes up almost all your stamina, but hey, if you can't roll out of it, there you go. So I don't know what this guy's weak to, I don't remember. Fire seemed to be doing a little bit of extra, but not too much, so fire might not be the best choice. And here I'm just trying to be careful because I don't know if he can, how much he'll hurt me. So going back to comparing Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 PvP was, it looked nicer, it looked a lot more fluid, but when you actually got down to the bare bones and the basic, there was still a lot of lag and issues to be had when it was released. Now there are some where you get paired with bad connections, and those aren't fun, but I don't find it as frequent. Dark Souls 1, the PvP was really fun, and I find that after playing Dark Souls 2, I got bored of Dark Souls 2 PvP way quicker than I got bored of Dark Souls 1 PvP. I don't know why that was, or if that was just because Dark Souls 1 was a new experience for me, and when Dark Souls 2 came out, I knew that, or it just happened that a lot of people were using the exact same builds or the exact same weapons, and I just didn't find it any fun versing unique people. Like, I don't know what that was. I know another part that took me is the soul memory they added in Dark Souls 2. I could see where FromSoft was going when they added that, but to me, I don't really like that at all. It did help the people like who were getting invaded at the start. Like, you couldn't invade people with endgame gear right from the get-go unless you cheated. And, well, that was not very good. So I'm trying to get Capra to jump off here, that's why I keep going. Not very good, but what happened was it turned into a lot of you couldn't do much, and I just didn't like people being paired because I thought the soul memory system was dumb because I loved low-level PvP. I didn't mind high-level PvP, but it just wasn't my cup of tea or whatever you want to call it. I didn't really appreciate it that much. Like, it was fun. I still put in my hours and did all that. Like, I'm not saying high-level PvP is bad. I still do it every now and then. I find it enjoyable. But here's where you unlock the depths. But I just preferred low-level invasions, and when they added that soul memory, and basically I just couldn't do it. Another thing that I really kind of hated is that it was a lot harder to upgrade your weapons. Like, it took a long time to upgrade your weapons and was a lot more complicated in Dark Souls 2, I found, to upgrade your weapons. And going along with that, I found when you were infusing weapons, it just, to me, they tried to make it more scaling with stats, and I find it just didn't work. Like, with the stats, I think I made a 200 level pure faith build, and I compared. I put a normal thing, like I had a B scaling with faith on whatever weapon, I forget what it was. So I put on my scaling, I put on that weapon, I put on a plus 10 normal weapon of that, and basically the faith upgrade that I put on just did crap. It was, sometimes I was doing less damage. I know, before you say anything, that's because of split defenses, because, oh, when you infuse your weapon it splits. I know that, but I'm just saying that it was worse, and also it was a lot harder to even try to infuse your weapons, because now you needed to get the ores, and that was a lot harder to find or get. Here's the large ember, which will upgrade your weapons or armor from, for weapons it's plus 5 to plus 10. I mean plus 6 to plus 10. For armor it's plus 4 to plus 6. So, killing the annoying dogs in here. We're going to be getting Laurentius soon. So now let's talk about the campaign. Let's talk about the campaign and summoning in Dark Souls 2. The summoning, they severely improved when it worked. Because in Dark Souls 1, I know I've waited for like 20 minutes for summons in some areas, or when I'm trying to summon a friend to help them out, or just play some jolly cooperation. It doesn't happen. Like, we either can't summon each other, or it just takes way too long. Dark Souls 2 actually fixed that, and made it so that you could find summons almost immediately and get that. That was what I really wanted. I really enjoyed. Because I do like to do challenges by myself, but sometimes I just like to, if I can't beat a boss or if I can't beat whatever, I like to summon a friend or a random person to help me out because I just can't beat this guy. Especially when I'm first starting the game. Like, that's just, to me, I need that. Alright, need water again. It's terrible. Alright. So here we're picking up Spider Shield, which is not a bad item. But going back, let's go. The summoning was alright in Dark Souls. Didn't mind it. Wasn't too terrible. When it actually worked, it was good. When it didn't, it was bad. And Dark Souls 2 really improved on that, so I'm not going to bash at that. But then when we come to the campaign, Dark Souls had a wide variety of unique bosses, unique areas, and a whole bunch of unique stuff. But then when you look at Dark Souls 2, most of the game just looked like it was very repetitious. Like, I think the only area in Dark Souls 2 that made me just say wow happened to be the Dragon's Eyrie. And there, when I saw the trailer, I was like, a whole bunch of dragons. Like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. But then when you actually got there, there was like very little dragons, or very little. There were like dragons that you fought, but I thought it would be more fun to see them flying around, or the flying ones actually interact with the player. But that didn't happen, so that kind of really disappointed me, I guess I should say. But again, that was like the only area, because a lot of Dark Souls 2 bosses, which made me sad, just happened to be people in armor twice your size, or just anyone twice your size, or 2-on-1 fights, or many-on-1 fights. It just seemed like they didn't know what to do, and they were very repetitive in what they were doing. Okay, cutting back to the video, I need stock here. So, answer no to his question, because he asks you if you find magic unsavory. Answer no, and he will allow you to buy stuff and purchase stuff from him. If you answer yes, he'll talk to you again later. You may need to leave the area or rest at the bonfire for him to talk at you, I'm not too sure. But just don't, if you want him, just don't answer no a whole bunch of times. I mean yes. Alright, so going back, Dark Souls 1 had unique bosses. Like, not too many giant guys, but there was actually, like, I think all four words are difficult. Words are very difficult. Great Lord Souls, whatever it's called, I'm just calling it that. They were all unique. Like, you got Nito, who was just a bunch of skeletons all piled together in one thing. You got the... I don't know what I'm doing here, honestly. Just looking at there. What am I doing? Oh, I think I was saying there... Oh yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna make a cut here to open up the thing. And I'm just showing you I'm still SL1 with all those cuts. Just in case any of you thought I was secretly leveling up. Put all those thoughts to rest. Excuse me. So we had the Bed of Chaos, which was a really annoying boss, but very unique design. Like, the boss was actually the room. You had Seath the Scaleless, which was a dragon, but you had the invisible platforms, which were terrible for new players, but pretty fun afterwards. Like, it was a unique design. And then you had... What's the Four Kings. Now, I know when people saw that's just a repetitive fight. Well, it is and it isn't. So here, if you just hide in here, you can get all these guys to chase you, and quickly. That's where I'll do most of my soul farming to get the souls that I need, is just sit here. You get about 6,000, 7,000 per try, and if it's on a good run, only takes about a minute, if that. So, very efficient way to get a whole bunch of souls. You just need the 20,000. That guy there only spawns once. Jesus. And then you get to the Four Great Lord Swords, which is at the start of Dark Souls 2, instead of in the middle, which are basically just a giant, the guy in the fire castle place, I don't remember his name. If I was playing Dark Souls 2, I probably would, but I'm just not good with names right now. So here's the stone armor. We'll probably be using that for the Four Kings way later in this Let's Play. But basically, there was just the guy in fire. I didn't find that area really to be fancy. Like, it seemed like a cool idea, a castle made out of iron, collapsed in lava. But it didn't click on me like some of the areas in Dark Souls. And then we have the Lost Sinner, which that was a pretty cool area, but I felt like it was pretty repetitive with those the exploding guys. I don't know what they're called. Picking up the Hornet Ring here. When you wear it, critical damages such as parries or backstabs do 30% more damage. So pretty important for a run later on, and a lot of people in PvP use it, and it's highly frowned upon. So yeah, not too fun. Here we're just continuing Siegmeyer's quest in case we might finish it all the way. But going back, I just didn't find Dark Souls 2 bosses, like a lot of them were just copies of each other. Like if you looked at how many guys in armors, just wasn't that good. And then FromSoft basically just recovered Sif for the giant rat or whatever boss that was. Just reskinned Sif and called it a boss. That's just lazy. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I played Dark Souls 1, which was like unique for me, and then I played Dark Souls 2 because I had all this hype, and it kind of, for me, it's still a great game. I still enjoy picking it up, but for me, I had high expectations, and it didn't quite beat Dark Souls 1. I'm sorry to say that for any of you who feel quite differently. I think Dark Souls 1 is the better game of the two. And also what really kind of frustrated me, but is when they were using DX11 or something to make Dark Souls 2 look so good. Like, the trailers looked amazing. And then when we got the game, it was like this. The catacombs, just dark and wasn't really that well texturized or lit as they promised. You basically never even needed the torches. It just wasn't good. So here, going down here, if you're quick enough, you can hit this before you get there. There is a bonfire, but I would recommend hitting this first. Opens up the little pathway up there. Kill the necromancers. Necromancers will bring back all these skeletons to life if they are not killed. There's another thing, if any of you can explain why their scimitars have a bleeding effect, but when you use a scimitar it doesn't. I mean, it's the exact same weapon, it's just used by a different enemy. So here's where I'm showing you the way to get to the blacksmith. Under here, as well as I pick up the great scythe on my way. Basically, I'm just showing the fastest way to get to the blacksmith. There probably is another faster way, doing the shortcut where you would just roll down right there, where I just was. Before you go in through that door, you just kind of roll back and then you roll again. There might be a way using that to get to the blacksmith faster. I'm not too sure. Whenever I use that, that's only to get to the Gravelord sword quick at the start of the game on a strength build. So yeah, I'm not too sure. You guys can feel free to tell me if I'm wrong. So here I got really concerned because I was almost dead. Push this. These are essential to changing the platforms in different areas. So here I'm trying to scope out what these skeletons are doing so I can heal. Because look at that low health. But yeah, I'm hoping when Dark Souls 2 comes out for the Xbox One and PS4, I probably won't be getting it right away. Just because that's like money, and I'll be probably playing still a lot of Hardline at the time. But I will be getting it at some point, and hopefully record some of that with Dark Souls 60 FPS and show how amazing it looks now that it has DX11 or whatever lighting software they use that's now supported. That actually looks like the trailer, and it's basically a whole new game. Like, I haven't even I know the Xbox patch for Scholar of the First Sin came out forever ago. I don't even know when it came out. It was a long time ago. I haven't even played the new changes that the Xbox 360 has made for Scholar of the First Sin. So if you guys want that, like if you guys want me to record a playthrough of Dark Souls on the Xbox One of Scholar of the First Sin, and then blindly play the Xbox 360 version of Scholar of the First Sin, and then go play the Scholar of the First Sin for Xbox One blind, I will do that, and then I can record my differences and my reactions when I find out if the game's either the same or different. So coming down here, we'll pick up, this is where you need to go, just walk along the edges and you will fall down. Pick up the green Titanite shard, which is essential for upgrading to magic or fire, or I believe whatever the faith one is, and you'll get to Vamos, where he unlocks. But I kind of feel like my review for Dark Souls was rushed, but that basically, I find Dark Souls 1 be a much better game than Dark Souls 2 was, but I still find both of them to be enjoyment. And if all of you want, I will do a playthrough of Dark Souls 2 with the new update, because I haven't played it. And then when I get the Xbox One edition, I can record that, and you people can have my live reactions. But here we just upgraded our club to be +1 of fire, which will be helpful later on. You saw to get to Vamos. The reason I didn't stop off at that bonfire earlier is because I wanted to do this with no deaths, hopefully, in the catacombs, which did happen. I was actually really pleased with that. And so here we are. We basically got a whole bunch of homeward bones, spent most of our souls, and I did a whole bunch of off-screen after I did this. The soul counter will be really big because I needed to upgrade my Pyromancy Flame a whole bunch. So there'll be a big difference in there. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Dark Souls SL Part 3, and see you all next time. Bye!